Hi there, I'm Marjuan Canady, and today I'll be reading my book, Callaloo, a Jazz Folktale. Callaloo, a Jazz Folktale, written by Marjuan Canady, illustrated by Nabeeh Bilal. On one hot New York City summer day, Winston ate a bowl of his favorite dish, callaloo. Winston's eyes were always bigger than his tummy, but there was just something magical about his auntie's callaloo. It was a family recipe passed down from Winston's grandmother to his auntie. "Winston," said Auntie, "what you got a belly of a goat? You ate all the callaloo. Go down to the roti shop on Flatbush Avenue and pick me up some more dashing bush." Winston walked to the subway. "Delicioso! Compra una icy." "Delicious! Buy an icy!" shouted the icy lady. "Roof!" barked Cosmo, the neighborhood dog. While devouring 2 cocoa ices, Winston heard a whisper. "Winston! Winston!" He looked to his left, to his right, and to his back. Where did that voice come from? Thought Winston. He shrugged, then hopped on the train and headed to the roti shop. Sitting patiently, Winston gazed out the subway window. Where did all the familiar buildings disappear to? He thought, for he was no longer in New York City, but now on the quaint Caribbean island of Tobago. Winston loved Tobago. He often daydreamed about bathing in the crystal clear water, devouring morning doubles, and listening to his wise grandmother's stories. He loved Tobago even more than ices and callaloo. He could hear his grandmother calling him. "Winston," said grandmother, "the sun is almost set. Go down to the river over so and bring me 2 crab. Me need it for me callaloo." As he approached the river, Winston thought, "Wow, look at all these crabs. My grandmother can cook them all for me. I'll bring back 4 instead of 2. Suddenly, a menacing shadow appeared through the trees. "Little boy, why are you stealing from my forest?" bellowed Papa Bois, peacekeeper and protector of all the animals in the forest. "Ah!" screamed Winston as he ran off before Papa Bois could utter another word. The day grew to night. As Winston stopped to catch his breath, he saw a man covered in black paint. As the man inched closer to him, he noticed his curly nails and hairy face. "A werewolf!" cried Winston. It was a lagahoo. "Ow!" howled the lagahoo. Frightened, Winston took off into the night, running faster and faster towards a flickering light in the distance. Under that light sat a group of men, linemen. "Help! Help! A lagahoo is after me!" shouted Winston. "Boy, calm yourself down. You must have dog yampy in ye eye," laughed one man. As the men laughed, Winston noticed the figure of a beautiful woman walking all alone. "Excuse me, gentlemen," interrupted Winston. "That woman over there seems to be lost." "Stay away from she," screamed a man. "She a ladra bless. Look at she cow hoof." Winston stopped dead in his tracks. "Don't stare at she," yelled another man. Winston and the men hid their faces, but they could still hear the thumping of her cow hoof inching closer and closer until, poof! She was gone. The eldest man stared deep into Winston's eyes and said, "You are bad luck, little boy. Get from here now." As Winston ran off, he came to a fork in the road. He looked to his left, to his right, and to his back. He was lost. His gut told him to go right, but the more he walked, the more he grew tired. "What is that?" said Winston. Covering his eyes and his ears, he heard a screeching hiss, followed by a blinding flash in the night sky. It was a Sakuya, an old lady by day, but vampire by night. Pain struck his little arms. His body grew weak and his tummy turned sick. His arm had turned black and blue. The Sakuya had choked him. Winston was so sick he fell into a deep sleep. By morning, he woke on the grainy beach sand to find that his arm had magically healed. Gazing at his reflection in the ocean, he saw a woman staring back at him. It was Mama Glo, wife of Papa Bois and protector of all the sea animals. "Winston," snickered Mama Glo, "your greed troubles me." "I'm sorry," pleaded Winston. "You were sent to me to learn a lesson. Now, if you return my crabs, I'll remove the spell that was placed on you. If not, you will suffer the consequences." Winston obeyed and returned her crabs. One by one, the crabs swam to Mama Glo, splashing around their queen. Just like that, the spell was broken. Mama Glo magically returned Winston back to his grandmother. Winston's grandmother was vexed that he had returned with no crabs. "Winston, what is this? What will we eat with our Callaloo?" said grandmother. "Very well. Go out to my garden over so and get me 1 bushel of dasheen, boy. No more, no less." As Winston walked to his grandmother's garden to pick the dasheen bush, he heard a familiar whisper. "Winston! Winston!" He saw 2 backwards feet and a mushroom head poking out of the bushes. It was a Dwen. "Winston, I'll give you more dasheen bush if you play with me," said the Dwen. But he remembered Mama Glo's words and grandmother's requests, so without hesitation he ran as fast as he could back home. He ran and ran and ran. He ran so fast that he ran right into Irene's roti shop on Flatbush Avenue. That night, Winston and his auntie ate a delicious Callaloo dinner with some authentic Caribbean dasheen bush, and he never again took more than he needed. Something magical lay within that Callaloo. The end. Did you guys enjoy that story? I'm glad you did. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.